This call is now being recorded.
Okay, so once again, good afternoon all. So today we'll start with the next point of the chapter number 3, graphical method, which is also called as a Morse circle method. So in the previous lecture, we have covered all the 3 cases of the chapter number 3, that is case number 1, case number 2, and the case number 3. We have discussed all the important formulas related to that respective cases, and we have solved 3 4 problems based on the all the 3 cases. But whatever the 3 cases we have discussed, that 3 cases are called as a analytical method. Why it is called as an analytical method? Because each and every case is having the different formula for the normal stress calculation and the tangential stress calculation. That means actually we are using the formulas. Actually we are using the formulas for the calculation of the normal stress and the tangential stress calculation and the shear stress calculation. Therefore, that all the 3 cases and their list of the formulas, it will comes under the category of analytical method. Now, in the today's lecture, we will discuss about the graphical method. Again, I am calculating the same parameter by using the standard of formulas, whatever the normal stress, tangential stress, shear stress, resultant stress, and the angle of obliquity. So total 5 formulas are there through which we have calculated the unknown parameters. Similarly, by using this graphical method or by using this particular Morse circle method, again we are calculating the same parameters like normal stress, tangential stress, resultant stress, maximum shear stress, and the angle of obliquity. But here, instead of using the list of the formulae, first of all, here by following one standard procedure of Morse circle, we have to draw that particular circle by taking some amount of scale, and at the end we have to measure the dimensions, and from that we have to calculate our unknown parameters. Okay, before starting the numericals directly, first of all we have to understand that in which axis which stress we have to represent. So for that purpose, one figure is in front of you which consists of a one x-axis. So you can see here horizontal axis is called as a x-axis, and the vertical axis is also represented, which is called as a y-axis. Okay, so the horizontal axis is the x and the vertical axis is represented as a y-axis. So this particular graphical method or the Morse circle method is mostly applicable for the case number 2 and case number 3. So why case number 2 and case number 3? Because in case number 2 it is subjected to the biaxial stresses, means the sigma x is also given and sigma y is also given. In case number 3 it is subjected to the biaxial stresses as well as one shear stress is also happened. That means in third case it is subjected to the sigma x, sigma y, and the shear stress. And the Morse circle method is mostly applicable for the case number 2 and case number 3. For case number 1 it is not applicable because the member or body is subjected to the single stress only, and by using that particular single stress or by using that particular sigma x, it is not possible to draw the Morse circle. At least 2 stresses are required. So in case of a case number 2, 2 stresses are there, that is sigma x and sigma y, and in case of a case number 3, 3 stresses are there. One is sigma x, second is sigma y, and third one is called as a shear stress. Therefore, in case of a Morse circle method, so whenever we have to draw that particular Morse circle, so the sigma x and sigma y is always represented in the horizontal axis. So if you see this particular figure, one horizontal axis is there, one vertical axis is there, and here at this point there is a origin point O. So you can see in the figure the point O is also present near about the center point. Okay, so the right side of the origin is represents the positive, and the left side of the origin it represents the negative. Okay, similarly the top portion of the origin, that means above the x-axis, again this is positive, and below the x-axis this is the negative region. So these are the regions which are represented by this particular figure, and whatever sigma x and sigma y is given, the value of sigma x and sigma y is represented on the horizontal axis only. The sigma x and sigma y is represented on horizontal axis only, or x-axis. So sometimes the problem will be given based on the case number 2, where only sigma x and sigma y is given. So in that case, there is no use of the vertical axis. And sometimes if the problem is given based on the case number 3, where sigma x is also given, sigma y is also given, and the shear stress is given. So the shear stress tau is represented by the vertical axis. So if the positive shear stress is there, I can represent that particular shear stress above the origin point O. If negative shear stress is given, I can represent that particular shear stress below the origin point O. Similarly, if sigma x and sigma y both are positive, both are represented at the right side of the origin. This is very important. If sigma x and sigma y both are positive, then both the values are represented at the right side. If sigma x is positive, I can represent that sigma x at the right side. If sigma y is given as a negative, so to the left side of the origin, the negative sign is there. Therefore, you can see here at the left side, minus sigma is represented, and at the right side, positive sigma is represented. So the right side of the origin represents the positive sigma x or positive sigma y. Left side of the origin represents the negative sigma x, negative sigma y. Similarly, top side of the origin represents the positive shear stress. Therefore, plus tau is written at the top side. You can see in the figure, plus tau, because it is the positive side. And if the shear stress is given negative, at that time it is represented at the below side. Therefore, minus tau is represented at the bottom side. How the shear stress is positive, how shear stress is negative related to that sign conventions we have discussed in the case number 3. The set of the shear stress is given as a figure A, and as per the figure B, either we have to take that shear stress as a positive or negative. That we have to identify by using this particular stress distribution diagram. Therefore, please keep in mind, through this particular simple figure, the sigma x and sigma y is represented on the horizontal axis or x-axis, and tau shear stress is represented on the vertical axis or in the y-axis. And accordingly, if sigma x, sigma y both are positive, represent at the right side of the origin. If any stress is negative, either sigma x or either sigma y, you have to represent at the left side. If shear stress is also given, so positive shear stress can be represented above the origin, and the negative shear stress will be represented below the origin. So these are the sign conventions or the procedures we have to follow whenever we have to use this particular graphical method. So mostly this particular graphical method, once again I am telling, it is applicable for the case number 2 and case number 3, because in case number 2, 2 stresses are there, and in case number 3, 3 stresses are there. At least 2 stresses are required to draw this particular Morse circle. And how to identify that? You know about that. If body is subjected to the sigma x and sigma y only, it is case number 2. If body is subjected to the sigma x, sigma y, as well as it is subjected to the shear stress also, then it will becomes under the category of case number 3. So this is the basic information or the basic procedure which we have to follow to draw this particular Morse circle. So now I will explain that particular procedure once again by using this particular one sample numerical. So first of all, we will solve one numerical, and then we can understand that how to draw the Morse circle. So this is the problem number 1. So just read the statement carefully. See, a tensile stresses at a point, 2 perpendicular planes are 100 Newton per mm square and 40 Newton per mm square. So the 2 tensile stresses are there, which are applied perpendicular to each other. You can see sigma x and sigma y are always perpendicular to each other. So value of sigma x is given 100 Newton per mm square, sigma y 40 Newton per mm square, full stop. Find graphically. So this word is mentioned. If this word is not mentioned, find graphically, then you have to identify that, or we have to say that you have to solve this particular problem by using the analytical method. If this graphical word is not mentioned or the Mohr circle word is not mentioned, then you have to solve this particular problem by using the analytical method or the list of the formulas. But here clear cut it is mentioned, find graphically normal stress and tangential stress on oblique plane which is inclined at 30 degree with major principal plane. So we have to calculate normal stress sigma n, we have to calculate tangential stress sigma t on oblique plane which is inclined at 30 degree with major principal plane. Major principal plane means vertical plane. Also find resultant stress and angle of obliquity. Also find resultant stress and angle of obliquity. Check your answers analytically. So whatever the answers you will get from this graphical method, that answers we have to check with the analytical method. So first of all, by using this particular given data, first of all you have to draw the figure. So what rectangle is given, so that member is subjected to the sigma x. So let us say sigma x is equal to 100 Newton per mm square. It is horizontal, both are tensile, so 100 Newton per mm square. Sigma y 40 Newton per mm square at the top side and the bottom side. Okay, then we have to calculate normal and tangential stress on the oblique plane. So they have not mentioned where is the oblique plane. So what I will do, this is A point, B point, C point and the D point. So from this particular point A, I will draw this oblique plane. Okay, and angle made by the oblique plane with major principal plane. So this AB plane, it is called as a vertical plane, or it is also considered as a major principal plane. Why AB is the major principal plane? Because on that plane 100 Newton per mm square stress is applied and it is maximum as compared to 40 Newton per mm square. Therefore this plane, vertical plane, is called as a major principal plane. So sigma x is equal to 100 Newton per mm square. Sigma y is equal to 40 Newton per mm square. Theta is equal to 30 degree. One more, 2 theta is equal to 60 degree. So please keep in mind, in graphical method, the theta angle is given to you. By using that particular theta, you have to write down the 2 theta value. If theta is equal to 30 degree, the 2 theta is equal to 60 degree, because this 2 theta angle we have to represent on that particular Morse circle. Okay, and we have to calculate sigma n, sigma t, sigma r and angle of obliquity phi. So these are the 4 parameters we have to calculate. Now according to this particular figure and according to this particular statement, whether this problem is under the case number 2 or case number 3. Yes,
Case number 2.
yes, it is subjected to the case number 2 because body is subjected to the biaxial stresses. Means one stress is applied in x direction, another stress is applied in y direction. Okay, but we have to solve this particular problem graphically. So for this particular case 2, we are having the list of the formulas. Sigma n formula is also available, sigma t formula is also available. But we have to solve this particular problem by using the graphical method or the Morse circle method. So here from this particular statement, it is also observed that both stresses are positive. Sigma x is positive, sigma y is positive. Now we have to follow the procedure. Let us see. If the graphical method is given, so first of all, we have to draw the vertical axis and the horizontal axis. So let us see. So I hope everyone has taken that particular drawing instruments with you. And you have to make your notebook horizontal. So don't keep that particular notebook as a vertical only. So you have to make this particular notebook as a in a horizontal direction. So as in this particular diagram, you have to draw the circle. So some large space is required to draw this particular diagram. So please make your notebook horizontal and draw one vertical axis. Draw another horizontal axis. According to the statement of the problem, maximum space should be given at the right side of the origin because both stresses are positive. Okay, so vertical axis, this is positive shear stress, bottom side negative shear stress. At the right side, this is positive sigma. At the left side of the origin point O, this is the negative sigma. Okay, maximum space, you can see in this particular figure, the maximum space I have provided to the right side of the origin because both the sigma x and sigma y are positive. Therefore, whatever the total diagram you will get, it will be generated at the right portion only. So maximum space I have given at the right side. Okay, so first of all, we have to draw the vertical axis, horizontal axis. On horizontal axis, sigma will be represented. On vertical axis, shear stress will be represented. But in this particular figure or in this particular statement, shear stress is not given, so there is no use of the vertical axis, but you have to draw it. Okay, before starting, we have to select the scale. Let us see. Scale, we have to select the scale. So at the top side, I will write down scale. 1 centimeter is equal to 10 Newton per mm square. 1 centimeter is equal to 10 Newton per mm square. Select the scale. I have written at the top side. 1 centimeter is equal to 10 Newton per mm square. Okay. So we are having the two stresses. One is sigma x. We are having the two stresses. One is sigma x and another is sigma y. So if sigma x is equal to 100 Newton per mm square and sigma y is equal to 40 Newton per mm square, then what is the value of sigma x in centimeter? If 1 centimeter is equal to 10 Newton per mm square, then what is the value of 100 Newton per mm square?
10 centimeter.
10 centimeter. 10 centimeter.
10 centimeters. So in the given data itself, you have to write down sigma x is equal to 100 Newton per mm square is equal to 10 centimeter as per the selected scale. Similarly, sigma y is equal to 40 Newton per mm square. Then means sigma y is equal to
4 centimeter.
4 centimeter. Yes. So by using the given stresses only and by using the selected scale, sigma x is equal to 10 centimeter, sigma y is equal to 4 centimeter. Then I will go to my original diagram. Okay. So sigma x is also positive, sigma y is also positive. So negative portion, it will not be utilized. So let us see from point O. From point O, first of all, represent the position of sigma x. So you are having the scale. Okay. So from this particular point O, represent the position of sigma x. So how much centimeter is there? 10 centimeter is there. So what I will do? I will draw here. This is the 10. So by using the scale, you are having your own scale. Okay. So from this particular origin point O, represent point A as a 10 centimeter. Represent point A as a 10 centimeter. So at the bottom side, I will represent point A from the origin point O. Sigma x is equal to 100 Newton per mm square is equal to 10 centimeter. So first point is point A, which represents the position of sigma x from origin point O. Similarly, you are having the second stress also, sigma y. So from the same point, origin point O, we are having the sigma y value 40 Newton per mm square. Okay, that means, sorry, 40 Newton per mm square, that means as per the scale, it is 4 centimeter only. So the second point you have to represent point B. On the horizontal line only, both are positive. Therefore, point A and point B are represented at the right side of the origin. So this is sigma y. Sigma y is equal to 40 Newton per mm square, which is equal to 4 centimeter. So you are having the scale, represent point A as a 10 centimeter from origin point O. Similarly, represent point B as a 4 centimeter from the same original point O, and both are represented at the right side because both are positive. Okay, so I hope you have represented the point A and point B, and both point represents the position of the sigma x and sigma y from the origin point O. Okay, so point A and point B are represented. Then take the center point of A and B. So what is the distance AB? Please tell me. What is the distance between point A and B?
6 centimeter.
6 centimeter.
Yes,
6 centimeter.
6 centimeter. Then represent the center of AB as a point C. Represent the center of AB as a point C. Take the point C. Take the point C. That means 3 centimeter from the B side and the 3 centimeter from the A side. Take the center portion of line AB as a point C, and by selecting the radius either BC or AC, by selecting the center point C and by selecting the radius BC or AC, draw one circle. So take the radius either CB or CA. That means by selecting the center point C, and from point A and from point B, you have to draw one circle. So draw this particular circle. So like that, you will get the circle. So by selecting the center point C and by taking the radius CB or CA, you have to draw the circle. Okay. Center point I have represented as a point C, and from that particular point C, I have selecting the radius CB or CA. Both radius are same. Therefore, the circle is passing through point A and point B. Okay. So draw that circle. Once you have drawn that particular circle, from this particular point C, you have to represent the 2 theta angle. So theta is equal to 30 degree. So 2 theta is equal to 60 degree. So theta is equal to 30 degree, and 2 theta angle will be considered as a 2 into theta means 2 into 30. You will get as a 60 degree, and this 2 theta angle I have to represent from point C in anti-clockwise direction. So keep that center point as a C, and you have to represent this 2 theta angle in anti-clockwise direction. So like that you will get the figure. Let us see. So for example, this is my 2 theta angle. I have represented that point on circle. So that will be the D point. And if I will draw C and point D, so this angle will be your 2 theta. So on the figure I have represented by taking the center point C, represent the 2 theta means 60 degree angle in anti-clockwise direction. And that angle will becomes in contact with the circle point, and that point will be represented as a point B. Take the 2 theta angle 60 degree. By selecting the center point C, it is represented in the anti-clockwise direction. So you will get one point on that particular circle as a point D. So 2 theta angle is equal to 60 degree. Okay. Then draw one vertical line from point D. Second step, draw vertical line from point D by the dotted lines. So from point D, draw one vertical line in downward direction. The line should be perfectly straight. Draw one vertical line from point D. It is to be dotted line. So that line should be perfectly perpendicular. So if I will draw one vertical line from point D in downward direction, it in between point C and A, in between AC, it will comes in contact. So that point can be represented as a point E. So once I will draw one vertical dotted line from point D, it will becomes in contact with the line AC, and whatever that new point is there in between point A and C, that point is represented by capital E. Similarly, from point D, draw one inclined line up to point O. That means whatever the OD distance is there, capital O, that is origin point, and capital D, which is represented on the circle, that OD distance also you have to join by the dotted line. Let us see. So what I have done, I have joined the OD distance by the dotted line. Similarly, from that point D, I have drawn vertical line in the downward direction, and you will get the new point as a capital E. Okay. Now, whatever the ED distance you will get from point D up to the point E, this ED distance means your sigma T. What is the vertical distance you will get? ED or DE. This is called as a sigma T. Similarly, whatever the OD distance we have joined just now by the dotted lines, that OD distance, represents the sigma N. Okay. So DE is equal to sigma T, OD is equal to sigma N. Okay, then you will get one angle DOE. Angle DOE. This is called as a phi. Sorry, this OD distance is called as a sigma R. By mistake, I have written sigma N. OD distance is called as a sigma R. OD distance is called as a sigma R. DE distance is represented as a sigma T. Okay. Then angle DOE. So here angle DOE is called as a angle of obliquity as a phi. The angle DOE is called as the angle of obliquity, and whatever the OE distance is there, let us see, OE from point O up to the point E, this is called as a normal stress sigma N. So whatever the unknown parameters I have to calculate, or whatever the unknown parameters we have to calculate, all the unknown parameters I have represented on the circle. So what is the first? Sigma N. Sigma N is equal to OE distance from point O up to the point E. It represents sigma N. Then sigma T, the vertical distance from point D up to the point E. This is called as a sigma N. Then OD, inclined distance OD. It is called as a sigma R. And you will get one angle. Angle DOE is represented by phi. OE is equal to sigma N. So these are the distance we have calculated. Now only what is our thing? We have to measure all the dimensions and we have to find out the unknown parameters. So here from figure, first sigma N is equal to OE into scale. OE into scale. Tell me the value. Distance OE. How much distance is there? Maybe sometimes you will get some different distance. All the answers should be near to each other. Measure the OE. Distance between point O and E. What is your value in centimeter?
8.5.
8.5.
Yes, 8.5. Also, again, any another answer? 8.5. 8.5. 7 centimeter. It is wrong. 7 centimeter. It is wrong. It is very far away from the 8.5. Others, please check. 8.5, 8.6, 8.4. Which pencil you are using? Based on that also your answers will be variable. 8.5, 8.7. Take the correct distance. Take the proper points. Join all the points clearly and properly. Then you will get the correct answer. Yes, 8.5, 8.7. Again, any answer? 7 centimeter. It is very long. Please check once again. 8.6, no problem. 8.5, 8.7, 8.6. All the answers are near about each other. Any another answer? Only you have to measure the dimensions by using your scale. So I will consider the constant value as 8.5. So OE distance is equal to 8.5. How much scale we have selected? 1 centimeter is equal to 10 Newton per mm square. So here how much centimeter is there? 8.5 into 10. Then what is your sigma n value? 8.5 into 10. 85 Newton per mm square. Yes, 8.7 is also correct, no problem. Try to draw the figure properly. Okay, 8.7 I will consider, or 8.5, 8.6, all the answers will be accepted. I have considered 8.6. So while putting the OE value, you just put your value. If you got 8.7, so 8.7 into 10, 87 Newton per mm square. So 87, 86, 85, all the answers are accepted because here we are using the graphical method. So there may be some instrumental error is there, some manual error is there. By considering all those errors, all the answers will be accepted. Then second, sigma t is equal to, so for the calculation of sigma t, which distance I have to measure? I have to represent this DE distance. So DE distance, DE into scale. Yes, what is the DE distance? Your vertical distance from point D. 2.5, one answer. Again another. Measure your distance between point D and E. 2.5, 2.5, 2.5, 2.8. It is very far away, or it is also accepted, no problem. But once again measure it. 2.5, 2.5. So I will take the constant as a 2.5. So 2.5 into 10 is equal to 25 Newton per mm square. This is the sigma t value. So if you got 2.6, you write down the 2.6. 2.6 into 10, 26 Newton per mm square. Don't copy my answers. All the answers will be accepted because all are near to each other. So whatever the distance you will get, but it should be near to each other. 2.4, 2.5, 2.6, like that. 2.8. It is also somewhat accepted, no problem. But if all of you got the answer 2.5, 2.6, then maybe there is some errors. Maybe using the pencil, or maybe using the scale, or some manual errors are there. Therefore, that distance is increases. No problem. It is also accepted. Then third one, sigma r. So for the sigma r calculation, which distance I have to measure? OD, from point O up to the point D, that inclined distance. So OD into scale. So measure the value of OD. Yes, 9 centimeter. Again, what other answers? 9 centimeter. Once again, 9. Yes, 9999 centimeter. So I hope everyone has got the same answer, same distance, that is 9 centimeter, 9 centimeter, 9 centimeter. So again, 9 into, why I am multiplying by the 10? Because the scale we have selected, 1 centimeter is equal to 10 Newton per mm square. So here the OD distance is equal to 9 centimeter. So I am multiplying by 10. So 9 into 10, you will get the 90 Newton per mm square. And fourth one is called as a angle of obliquity. So which angle you have to represent, or which angle we have to measure? So angle DOE at point O, we have to keep that particular instrument and measure that particular angle from the horizontal line in anti-clockwise direction. Measure that angle DOE at point O, you have to keep that particular instrument and you have to represent that particular phi angle in anti-clockwise direction. Here answers may be sometimes variable. Sometimes you will get 16, sometimes you will get 15. Yes, what is your answers? So two answers I got. 15 degree. Any other answer? Yes, 18. So why it is taking place? Due to some manual errors and the instrument errors. So 15, 15, 16. So whatever the answers you will get. So just I will write down here. 15 degree or 16 degree, or some of you got 18 also, 18 degree. So all the answers will be accepted, no problem, don't worry about that. 16.38, it is very correct. In point, you have measured that particular angle. But basically if you take the average, so it will be the 16 degree. Basically if you take the average, it is 16 degree. 15 degrees also answer is there. 18 degree answer is also there. Sometimes you will get the 17 degree also. But average value if I will consider, but don't take the average here. So whatever the answer you will get from your Morse circle, that answer you have to represent. But you just check why all the answers are different. Whatever the procedure I have told, it is same for all the students. But then also you got the different answer because so many instruments error is there, so many manual error are there. Therefore, draw the circle properly. All the point should be at their respective distances only. Then you will get the correct answer and it will match with you all. Okay. So this is the first problem. So very simple procedure is there. Whatever the problem is there, it is based on the case number 2, where sigma x and sigma y are positive. Sigma x and sigma y are positive. Therefore, both the sigma x and sigma y are represented in the right side of the origin. So first point A, it represents the position of sigma x. At the bottom side also I have written sigma x is equal to 100 Newton per mm square is equal to 10 centimeter. Sigma y 4 centimeter, point B. Then I have taken the center of AB as a point C. Then from that particular point C, I have drawn one circle which is passes through the point A and point B. Then from point C, I have to represent the 2 theta angle in the anti-clockwise direction, that is 60 degree. Then you will get one new point as a point D. And from that particular point D, I have joined OD distance by the dotted line, DE distance by the dotted line, and I have represented the unknown parameters. Okay. The AB distance represents the difference between, so whatever the 6 centimeter you got, distance AB 6 meter, it represents the distance or the difference between the two principal stresses. Then tell me, AB distance is the diameter or radius? AB distance is the diameter or a radius of the circle?
Diameter.
Diameter. Therefore, please keep in mind, this is very important for your MCQ. The diameter of Morse circle represents the difference or distance between two principal stresses. Based on this, 101% MCQ question will be there in your examination. So 4 options will be given. What is that? What will be the question? The diameter of Morse circle represents. 4 options will be given, and you have to choose the correct option. What is that? it represents, or the diameter of Mohr's circle represents the distance or difference between two principal stresses. So this is the first MCQ. Then second MCQ is based on the radius. Okay, so what if this particular radius is there, BC or CA? So the radius of Mohr's circle always represents the tau max. The radius of Mohr's circle always represents the tau max. Please keep in mind. So write down BC is equal to CA is equal to tau max. So again the question will be there. The radius of Mohr's circle represents option 1 principal stress, principal plane, shear stress, and fourth option maximum shear stress. And you have to choose the option as a maximum shear stress. Therefore, please keep in mind the diameter of Mohr's circle represents the difference between or distance between two principal stresses, and radius of Mohr's circle represents maximum shear stress. So these two questions will be there in your MCQ examination. So please keep this. Also, you can represent on the figure also, which is the tau max and which is the difference, or here I will write down sigma 1 minus sigma 2. Sigma 1 minus sigma 2 or sigma x minus sigma y. Sigma x minus sigma y means distance between two principal stresses, which is called as a diameter, and the radius of the Mohr circle represents the maximum shear stress. So this is related to the first problem, and these are the answers we have to calculate. Also, we have to verify this distance analytically. So whatever the list of the formulas you are having for the case number 2, so whatever the list of the formulas you are having for the case number 2, you can use that formula. You can put the value of sigma x, sigma y, theta value as a 30 degree, and you can check this particular all the graphical answers with the analytical method. You will get all the answers near to your these answers. So sometimes you will, here you got the answer 85, sometimes you will get the 86. So all the answers are near to the each other. So if you want to verify, you can verify this particular answers. For the sample, take the sigma n formula. Let us see. Sigma n is equal to sigma x plus sigma y divided by 2 plus sigma x minus sigma y divided by 2 into cos 2 theta. Okay, so here theta is equal to plus 30 degree. As per the sign conventions, it is present at the left side and the top corner. Therefore, plus 30 degree. So put the value of sigma x, sigma y, put the value of theta, and tell me the sigma n. Just we will verify one answer at least, whether all the answers are near to that answer or not. Tell me answer by the analytical formula. What is the sigma n value by using the analytical method? Simply you have to put the values, do the calculation, and tell me the answer. 85 Newton per mm square. Yes, correct. Then you can say that your graphical answer and the analytical answers are verified. Means whatever the calculations you have done by using this particular graphical method, it is 100% correct. So sometimes in the examination, you have to calculate the answers by using the graphical method, but sometimes at the end, the statement is given, check your answers analytically. At that time, you have to solve this particular problem by using the analytical method also, and we have to find your unknown parameters. So this is the procedure. Okay, now one more problem we will solve and then we will stop. So just read the statement carefully. See, the principal stresses are 100 Newton per mm square tensile and 30 Newton per mm square compressive. So the two principal stresses are there. Out of that, one is 70 Newton per mm square, which is tensile, means this is your sigma x value, and the 30 Newton per mm square is given. This is your sigma y, but it is compressive. Okay. On a plane inclined at 30 degree with major principal plane. So here they have not represented. at which corner theta will be represented. So simply you have to represent the theta at the first corner only. So that inclination is given 30 degree. Find sigma n, sigma r, sigma t and phi. In bracket they have written use Morse circle method. If in bracket, if this sentence will not be written, you have to solve this particular problem by using the analytical method. But in bracket they have written use Morse circle method, means you have to solve this particular problem by the graphical method. So let us see. First of all, write down all the given parameters. Sigma x is equal to 70 Newton per mm square. Sigma y is equal to minus 30 Newton per mm square because it is negative. Theta is equal to 30 degree. Then I will write down 2 theta is equal to 60 degree, and we have to calculate sigma n, sigma t, sigma r and phi. Okay, so immediately draw the figure. So sigma x is 70 Newton per mm square. It is positive or it is tensile. So 70 Newton per mm square. Sigma y is negative. So you have to change the arrow in the form of compression. 30 Newton per mm square. At the bottom side, 30 Newton per mm square. Okay. Theta angle is given. They have not mentioned at which corner it is there. So simply I can take this particular corner as a point A, B, C and D. And for this particular corner, theta is equal to positive 30 as per the sign convention. So in the statement they have not mentioned at which corner, whether at point A or either at point B or C or D. So simply you have to take at point A, that means theta is positive. If theta is equal to 30 degree, 2 theta is equal to 60 degree. Okay. So this is the figure you have drawn. But here now you have to check that once one stress is positive, another stress is negative. So you will get some figure at the left side of the origin also. So whenever you are making your notebook horizontal, you have to keep some space at the left side of the origin also. So let us see. This is the vertical axis. This is horizontal axis. So minus sigma plus sigma plus tau minus tau. This is origin point O. Again select the scale. Scale 1 centimeter is equal to 10 Newton per mm square. You can select any scale. 1 centimeter is equal to 20 Newton per mm square. 1 centimeter is equal to 5 Newton per mm square. Any scale you can select. But at the end, that scale we have to consider during the calculation. But it is very simple to consider 10 centimeter because we can easily represent all the distances on that particular x-axis. Again, this is the second problem we are discussing. Again, it is based on the case number 2 because only sigma x and sigma y is given. No shear stress is given. So sigma x is equal to 10 Newton per mm square. As per the scale, 1 centimeter is equal to 10 Newton per mm square, means sigma x is equal to 7 centimeter. Then sigma y is equal to 30 Newton per mm square. We have scale 1 centimeter is equal to 10 Newton per mm square. Therefore, sigma y is equal to 3 centimeter. But it is compressive. Therefore, I will write sigma y is equal to minus 3 centimeter. Okay, so by using this particular centimeter values, I can represent the position of A and point B. So first of all, sigma x from this particular point O, it is positive. Therefore, you will get point A at the right side of the origin, and at the bottom side, I will take that projections and I will represent sigma x is equal to 70 Newton per mm square, that is 7 centimeter. So point A means it represents the position of sigma x from the origin point O. So draw the or represent that particular point in your figure also. That is point A is represented. Now you have to represent the position of sigma y, but sigma y is negative. Sigma y is negative, minus 30 Newton per mm square, and you got the distance minus 3 centimeter, and the minus sigma will be represented at the left side of the origin. Therefore, from this particular point O, represent the position B. As a 3 centimeter only. So sigma y is equal to 30 Newton per mm square, which is equal to 3 centimeter or minus 3 centimeter. So point A is represented as sigma x, point B is represented as a sigma y. One is at the right side of the origin, another is at the left side of the origin. Then what is the total distance? What is the total distance AB? What is the total distance AB?
10 centimeter.
10 centimeter, yes. Others, please check your distance, 10 centimeter or not. AB distance is equal to 10 centimeter. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. If you got the 10 centimeter, the point A and point B, 10 centimeter, then take the center point of AB as a point C. Take the center point of AB as a point C. Same procedure we have to follow. Take the center of AB as a point C. And by selecting the radius, either CB or CA, or from this particular point C, you have to draw the circle which is passes through the point A and B. So let us see. Okay, so by selecting the radius, either CB or CA, I have drawn one circle which is passes through the point A and B. So draw this particular circle. Draw the circle. Okay, then you have to represent the theta angle. So theta is equal to 30 degree. So 2 theta is equal to 60 degree. Okay, so from this particular point C, you have to represent the 2 theta angle in anti-clockwise direction. So if I will represent that particular 2 theta, so you will get one point D on the circle point or on the circle. And if I will draw, so this is your 2 theta. So on the figure I have represented, by selecting the center point C, represent the 2 theta or 60 degree angle in anti-clockwise direction. It is in anti-clockwise direction. Why? Because theta is positive and upper portion is represented as a positive. So theta is represented in the positive region in anti-clockwise direction, 2 theta. And due to this particular 2 theta, you will get this particular point D. You will get this particular point D. Okay. Then from this particular point D, again draw one vertical line like previous one by the dotted lines. You will get one point E in between A and C. From point D, draw one vertical line, and it will be comes in contact with line AC, and you will get one point E. Then join the OD point. O and D by the dotted lines. Join the OD point. By mistake, some students are joining the BD point, but we have to follow the standard procedure. Point B is at the left side of the origin, but don't join the point B and D. By mistake, students are joining that, and you will get the incorrect answers. So check where is point O is present. So join this particular point O and D by the dotted lines. So you will get one angle DOE. So this is phi angle. Then this DE distance. These distances will be same for all the types of problems. So DE distance is equal to sigma T. OE distance. OE distance is called as a sigma N. And this OD distance this is called as a sigma R. OD distance is called as a sigma R. So what is the difference between this problem and the previous problem? In the previous problem, both the stresses are positive. So you got all the diagrams at the right side of the origin, but here sigma y is negative. Therefore, somewhat diagram will be generated in the negative region also. But don't worry about that negative regions. Only you have to follow the procedure. Represent point A, B, take the center point, draw the circle, represent the 2 theta. Then you will get the point D angle, or you will get the D point. From this D point, draw vertical line. You will get new point E. Join the OD by the dotted lines. And then measure all the important dimensions. So first, from figure, sigma N is equal to OE into scale. Second, sigma T is equal to DE into scale. Third, resultant sigma R is equal to OD into scale. And fourth, phi is equal to angle DOE is equal to. Tell me the answer. First answer. What is the first? OE distance. Yes. 4.4, 4.3, 4.4. What about others? Yes, many of you got the answer 4.4. OE distance is equal to 4.4. What about others? Please check. Measure all the dimensions by using the scale. 4.4, 4.3, 4.5, 4.4, 4.3, 4.5. So whatever the answers you got, you just write down that answers. 4.5, 4.5, 4.3, 4.4. Yes, I will take the 4.4. So 4.4, whatever the scale we have selected, 1 centimeter is equal to 10 Newton per mm square. So here 4.4 into 10 is equal to 44 Newton per mm square. This is sigma N value. So whatever the answers, whatever the distance we have measured, to that particular distance we have to multiply by 10. Why 10? Because 1 centimeter is equal to 10 Newton per mm square. If you have selected 1 centimeter is equal to another scale, then to that particular respective scale, you will get another distance. So that centimeter into 20 Newton per mm square. Like that, whatever the scale you have selected, only you have to multiply by that only. Okay, 4.4 I will select, and you will get the answer 44 Newton per mm square. Then what is sigma T? What is the DE distance? Distance DE is 4.2, 4.2, 4.1. Again, any another distance? 4.3, 4.3, 4.3, 4.3. So many of you got, I think, 4.3. So I will take 4.3 only. So whatever the answers you will get, write down that only. 4.3 into 10 is equal to 43 Newton per mm square. Sigma T 43 Newton per mm square. So take that d distance as a 4.3 multiply by scale 10 and write down the answer 43 Newton per mm square. Okay. I hope you have calculated sigma T. Then sigma R. For the calculation of sigma R, represent the OD distance. Then measure it. What is the OD distance? Yes, 6.1, 6.1, 6.3. Any other answer? 6.1, 6.2, 6.6. It is very high. 6.6 is very high. Please check your answer once again. At least it should be near to the 6.1 and 6.2 because many of you got the answer 6.2. 6.3 is also there. So I will take 6.2. My distance I will consider as a 6.2 into 10 is equal to 62 Newton per mm square. So why such variations are taking place? Once again, I am taking due to the instrumentation error, due to some manual error, which types of pencil also you are using. Based on that only, also your answers will be variable. So whatever the answers you will get, but all the answers should be near to each other. There should not be maximum distance. 6.6, it is very high. All the answers are near to the 6.2, 6.1, 6.3 like that. So I will take 6.2 into 10. So you will get 62 Newton per mm square. Then what is the phi angle? Measure the angle DOE at the point O. You have to keep it and you have to measure the angle. Yes, 44, 45. 44 degree, 45 degree, then 43 degree. 43 degree. 3. So 40 degree, it is very less. Onkar, please check your answers. You got the answer previous angle as previous distance as a 6.6. Then this angle is also very less. So please check with your figure. So 43 degree or 44 degree. In between this maximum answers you got. So 43 degree or 44 degree. 43 or the 44 degree. So all the dimensions you have to take from the figure only, and wherever you have to multiply by the scale, you have to multiply it and you have to find out the answers. And sometimes if they have asked to verify your answers analytically, so at that time we have to use or we have to remind the list of the formulas for the respective cases and check your answers with the graphical method whether calculated answers are correct or not. Sometimes in the analytical method you will get the sigma n as a 45 Newton per mm square. Sometimes you will get the answer as a 43 Newton per mm square. But no problem, all the answers are near to each other only. So all the answers will be accepted. Okay. So I hope everyone has calculated and you got the answers like this 44, 43, 62 and angle 43 and 44 degree. Okay, so this is about the second problem where the sigma x is positive and sigma y is negative. So whatever the procedure we have followed for the problem number 1 and for the problem number 2, it is same. Only sigma y I have represented at the negative region. Okay, so with this today we will stop here. Again, some another 2-3 problems are based on this particular graphical method that we will take in the next lecture. Okay, thank you.